to another episode of the Random Cinematic Universe, the podcast where we use a random movie generator to choose the movies that we watch and then discuss for your pleasure. This week I've got Jacob Weidman and Nina Borneval with me, and we're going to watch...
Wait, did you say Jacob Weidman?
Yes.
Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right, guys. Something's wrong.
What the fuck is going on,
Something's
Jacob?
wrong. Shit. I don't know what it is, guys. I don't know what it is. Oh, no.
Jacob,
This is so lame. I love it.
This is too... Like what? We're like on episode 4?
It's a Halloween movie. I get to do this.
Okay, so we're going to start again.
Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of the Random Cinematic Universe, the podcast that lets a random movie generator choose the films that we watch and then discuss for your pleasure. With me today is Nina Borneval and Mr. Spooks.
FYJ.
Excuse me. Or Jacob S. Pumpkins. I don't know if it works.
Or Jacob S. Pumpkins.
Mr. Spooks.
Some of you may know him from Extra Life. I believe this is a running gag on the Car Bomb Extra Life.
Spooky.
Anyway, today, the algorithm chose A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting from 2020. This was a film that we found on Netflix. I believe it is a Netflix production. It was directed by Rachel Talalay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it.
Sounds about right.
Starring Tamara Smart, Una Lawrence, and Tom Felton. Could not find any information on the budget.
So spoilers, Tom Felton. I did not know he was in it until the credits came in at the end.
Really?
I didn't recognize him at all.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Who's Tom Felton?
He's Malfoy in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's all I know him from.
Yes,
Well,
and
no.
for those of you at home, you'll remember that Nina hasn't seen anything. The only movies she's ever seen are the ones that we watch on this podcast, which is surprising because she works in film.
Slight exaggeration, but you'll find that I've either not seen a movie or I've forgotten most of it.
Yes. This film was written by Joe Ballerini. It was also based on a book that he wrote. I think we have another episode coming up with the same situation that's based on a...
There's almost no information on the book, though. I tried
Yeah.
so hard to find information on the book.
I think
It exists.
I think this was Netflix looking for a potential franchise that they can get for cheap.
Yeah, and the producer tells you, like, just who produced it kind of gives you a hint at why it even happened.
Ivan Reitman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, rest in peace, Ivan Reitman. As of recording this podcast, he passed away a couple of weeks ago. Most of you will know him as the director of Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Yeah, that's sad. But he produced this movie, and it made a lot of sense. I did not realize that he was a producer until the end credits. It makes a lot of sense. So, basic plot of this film. It is a young adult film. I would guess aimed like 8 to 12-year-olds would be target audience here.
A little bit older, like they're in high school. I think it goes up to.
But I feel like, the characters in Buffy were also in high school, but I don't think we're going for the same age group here.
Or we're aging out, Zach. This was released in 2020, and they're in high school. I would guess that like up to 15 they'd be quite content with the movie.
Yeah, I have no idea what teenagers like, so
it's a little bit of a stretch on my part here as well.
Yeah.
I do know this movie probably would have freaked me out a little bit as a kid, depending on what age I watched it.
Okay, there was definitely the scary scenes at the beginning, the flashback with the first little girl, and yeah, no, there was definitely some moments where I was like, this is terrifying.
Yep.
Because they shot what you couldn't see, which is what you do when you want to scare someone, right? In a scary movie, you don't show it. Like, just using the shadow of the dinosaur, like, and it's turning its head at the last second.
That's
so
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to take a crack at a quick synopsis of the plot?
No,
it wasn't very good.
Okay. The basic plot of this film. I guess as normal, I'm going to give a spoiler warning. We are going to get into every nitty-gritty detail of this film.
Don't they know that by now?
You know what? I'm going to say it for every episode, just in case we have new listeners, Jacob.
Guys, it's a podcast about movies where we
New
talk about
listeners, Jacob.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Spooks. So a young girl is shown to be attacked by some sort of monster when she's a child. Has a traumatizing experience. For whatever reason, when she's 5, she tells kids at school that she got attacked by a monster. And now when she's 15, 16 years old, everybody at school still makes fun of her and calls her Monster Girl.
Dude, it's Monster Girl.
I feel like is a massive exaggeration of the memories of children.
No.
All it takes is one childhood event or mention.
I cried at the movie Bambi in 5th grade, and my school went from elementary school up until the last year of high school.
Yeah, but you were like 10. Kids remember what happened at 10. They don't remember what happened in kindergarten.
Yeah, I still got called Bambi right up until like the year before I graduated.
Okay, I stand corrected. I just took beatings with tree branches, but that sounds worse. Sorry.
It sticks.
I'm just like, no.
Not a lie. I actually got beaten with a tree branch once. So she grows up. She is forced into babysitting her mother's boss's child.
The Ice Queen.
The Ice Queen.
Who subsequently is also dressed as the Ice Queen.
Yeah.
Ice Queen.
I get it.
Turns out that the child has the ability to bring his dreams to life. He has nightmares. He creates nightmare monsters. This boogeyman comes after him, kidnaps him.
The boogeyman.
The main character who... What's her name? I watched this movie like 45 minutes ago. What is the main character's name?
I don't know, but she spends a lot of her time yelling the other character's name.
Liz.
Yeah.
Liz's name comes up a
Oh,
lot.
and I know one of the characters' names because
It's Jacob.
Yeah.
I'm
the nightmare child.
I don't have a memory for that kind of stuff.
Tamara Smart's character, I think.
I'll Google it. You keep talking.
Goes to rescue this child. And Liz's character is introduced. Turns out there is a secret order of babysitters.
Kelly Ferguson. That's it. That's her name, Kelly Ferguson.
Okay. I believe you.
Yeah.
We find out that there is a secret order of babysitters that protect children from monsters. And that is the general plot of this film.
Yeah. Secret society of babysitters.
Yeah.
That included Joan of Arc, Mother Teresa, Einstein. I don't know, just basically every historical figure known.
Right out of the gate, I'm going to give props to the director of photography, Gregory Middleton. He made the movie look good.
Oh yeah,
There's some really good shots.
Absolutely.
Right out of the gate, when she's walking down the hallway in the high school, and they've hazed up the hallway just a little bit, and they've got all the natural light coming in from the one side, which is also, it weirds me out every time. It's like, yeah, we're in a public high school. Not a single light's turned on. It's just all the light coming in from the window. But like, it looks great, but it makes no sense.
True. That scene was also my favorite scene because it was paired to Billie Eilish, which I thought was a really cool way to use that song in a movie.
Which song did they... You seem to notice the music a lot more than I do. What song did they
and you
use?
know what? And it's funny. Growing up, I had a girlfriend that would always notice the soundtracks in movies, and I thought it was the oddest thing. And it actually specifically made me start listening for it, and it's become a thing where I'm big on audio and listening and stuff like that. But the whole soundtrack of this movie was perfectly paired to all of the moments with like really modern mainstream radio play songs, and it was just like peppered in like a little bit all throughout, and it was the only thing that I'm like, it was good. Like I would rewatch the movie just for that. And that the plot sucks.
This is also where we meet her best friend, who never comes. He shows up in one other scene as Broccoli, and
Mr.
we never
Broccoli.
see him
Broccoli.
again.
Oh, he's amazing.
like,
Everyone loves
The
broccoli.
king of vegetables, who left with fire emoji girl.
That's the thing. Like, he shows up as like the best friend in the beginning, and he is trying to bring ska.
He's not a great
He's trying to bring like ska wardrobe back as hard as he can. And then we see him in one other scene in the movie, and he never comes up again. Like, there was 0 point to having that character in the movie other than to get exposition in that first scene.
And that to indicate she has one friend?
Yeah.
Like,
You think like he'd come to the rescue later or help somehow?
No, because he went to a party and he got distracted by a girl.
Yeah.
That's why he's out of the picture. They made that very
light
clear.
bulbs. Yeah.
Yeah. They bring up so she goes to the house and she's told she's gonna make $15 an hour, which at first I was like, ooh, $15 an hour, and then I was like, wait, in the States for like a high schooler, that's probably really good. And I think minimum wage in most states is still like $7 an hour.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's pretty low.
And $15 an hour US is like $80 an hour Canadian. So.
Well, this was a nightmare child to babysit. So then she
should have got more.
She, like
the kid himself was like super sweet.
I know, but like when she was like, it's gonna take about 4 hours for you to put this kid to bed, and then
if he goes to bed,
which sounds so ominous, and then as soon as the front door closes, this fucking child is tearing through the house eating chocolate.
Yeah,
that's true.
Cutest moment ever.
Now, granted, we do realize that the reason he craves all the candy and sugar and stuff is because he's trying to stay awake.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Because he's trying to not go to sleep because he has nightmares.
Yeah,
and the monsters come out.
I did
I didn't clue into that until later into the film that's what he was doing, but
I clued in that he was specifically doing it to stay awake once he was trapped by Guignol. I can't say with the English accent.
The Grand Guignol.
The Grand Guignol.
Still say it with the French
Tom
accent.
Felton. Yeah, my first note.
Like a budget Pirates of the Caribbean.
He was.
Yes.
With
Beetlejuice.
I had
Beetlejuice. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I believe I'm a fan of Tom Felton's off-brand Beetlejuice.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, I will say that I was a fan of Tom Felton's character in the beginning of the film.
Hello, Rhode Island.
Like his first scene when he first comes in. And yeah, he's doing the super British, referring to people as darling and that. Yeah. Like he seemed like super creepy and super weird. And I was like, I'm intrigued by this character. And the longer the movie went on, I was like, oh, you are such a generic kids movie villain that you've gotten boring and are no longer scary whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like the further the movie went, the more like really, you're the big bad evil boogeyman. Like
it could have showcased some more powers that he has other than just singing. And hypnotizing kids.
I feel like
he's got a tail that seems to put fire on stuff.
So he sings a song to hypnotize people, and I feel like this was something that was from the book, and it works in a book when it's just written as a lyric on a page. In film form, having Tom Felton sing to people to hypnotize them lost its impact. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Tom Felton still did a good job with the role. He was probably just having a fucking time of his life being this weird evil character in full makeup and costume, and he just got to be weird. But the script did him no favors.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Yeah. So anyways, what do you guys think?
I have some questions for the set decorators of the babysitter lair.
I have notes about the set design.
It looked very sexual.
Oh.
The doors opening and the wooden cutouts in front of the doors that were just repeating in different varying shades of pink.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even just imagining it.
I did not pick up on that, but now I know exactly what you're saying.
But the moment they busted through the doors, I was like, "Why is it a vagina?
Why is it a vagina door?"
I was like, this makes no sense.
Yeah, that's yeah. My big thing was that you've got this super grungy, dirty boogeyman character, and then we get to his like palace of evil. And it's pristine and clean and nice and open and
actually,
like.
That's true. The
I
bedroom.
collected 51 gases. That's what he said.
I know.
I don't know why.
But it's just I don't know. It just to me the set like there was. Don't get me wrong. There was high production value for this film.
Oh, 100%.
A lot of it looked really good.
Yeah.
A lot of the sets look really...
The cat hotel was cool.
Prettiest vagina I've ever seen.
Just not appropriate.
I'm like, is it a mistake? Did they not see it, or was it like this choice?
Yeah, but I don't know. It just didn't to me. And then you find out it's the inside of an old lighthouse. But the lighthouse is horizontal.
And then you see as they're going down the
flat
tunnel thing, then there's like a gas factory or gas plant that is underneath the lighthouse. I don't know. That's what it looked like. It was just like, which I guess is why he collected 51 gases or whatever. And maybe the look of it makes more sense. But I'm like, don't say it's a lighthouse.
And then immediately ditch the lighthouse.
And then go to some gas plant.
So let's talk about this. Yeah, so for one... So this girl has had nightmares when she was a child and was traumatized. And then she goes and she's checking under the bed of this kid, trying to put him to bed. And she fucking jump scares the kid. Like
dirty socks.
She's being a real dick to somebody who's going through the same thing she went through as a child, and that she hates that she gets made fun of for it.
Not nice.
And then we kind of realized that they're both just like really shitty X-Men. Like, their power is like, oh, if I have a nightmare, the monster kind of comes to life, but if I wake up, it goes away.
And she's like, I can do mental math crazy good.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, she goes into fucking Rain Man mode.
Did you see, the first time she does it, though? It's like pi equals pi. Like, what? Like, a pi is a pi. Yeah. Like, that's not math. Like, that the pi symbol equals a slice of pie. I'm like, that's... how you pronounce it. That's not math.
I didn't catch up.
What? I'm getting a hum. I don't know what it's from. Sorry, people. We're having some technical difficulties. Don't know if it's just
the humdrum of life.
It's audio that just we're dealing with.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just my last laptop, probably.
What?
The fan on my laptop, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Actually...
Yeah, it is. So if you can hear a humming sound, Jacob has a crazy gaming laptop that the fan kicked in on. We're going to try and solve this for a second.
Actually, I can hear it separate from that. Like, I can hear the fan, but then I can also hear... Jason, sound.
Come that way. Now I know what Jason goes through all the time.
Because you can hear something other than that, right?
Is there something outside? That's really loud for a laptop fan.
Yeah, but I also hear something else. Oh, shit. I tried so hard to escape without knocking anything over.
Jacob's trying to tear all the audio equipment off the table with his feet right now.
So hungry.
Just grab the fan off the edge.
Oh, you're just not getting good airflow.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're better. Okay. Technical difficulties averted. Jacob's laptop was working too hard. Had a long day.
I left it in the car for a while, so now it's not great. In the cold.
Where do these kids live, and how rich are all their parents that these are the kind of Halloween parties that they throw?
Rhode Island. It's a modern movie. They live in mansions and they work at online magazines.
Yeah, but can we just like
blogs.
Get rid of that stereotype that it's like, oh yeah, no, just like everyday teenagers throw ragers with 300 people and lights and smoke machines and like
make my job
easier. Look at
easier.
the movies we work on, like they're even unrealistic.
And I hate them too. At what point have you ever got the impression that I think that we make realistic films?
We shouldn't shit on what pays our bills.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, The Lord of the Rings is less fantasy than these movies.
True.
I agree. I hate the idea that we refuse to show any bra straps and anything, that we pretend that we live in these mansions, that people wear their shoes inside, and that nobody says goodbye when they hang up the phone.
True.
To give you listeners at home an example of this, we worked on a film where the character's grandmother owned a used vintage clothing store in a small lakeside town, and she passes away and leaves her house to her granddaughter, the grandson. The granddaughter gets the clothing store, the grandson gets the house, and the location that we used
that I found
that totally came through. Nina's pouring wine under the table. The location that is this house owned by vintage store grandma was a $5 million lake house.
They told me to find grandma's house, and this was one of my first Hallmark shows where I didn't understand. I was thinking my own grandma's house.
This is Vintage Hearts. This is like one of the first of these Hallmark type movies that we worked on. This is going
I didn't know
a few years
they wanted
back.
Really rich grandma who has her entire extended family.
Is this what people are talking about when they say grandma's house and start laughing on set?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I want to say a name. Oh, I have questions.
It was my first big find.
Who directed it?
David Strasser.
Yes, Strasser talks about grandma's house all the time.
Yeah. No, we're joking about grandma's house from Vintage Hearts because it's like a $4 or $5 million lake house.
Sorry for this sidebar, but that's a great payoff for me.
It's a cool house too because it's.
If you've never heard this, I
didn't know where it came from.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I've heard about grandma's house for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Good job, Jacob.
Thanks. It was a guy who actually he walked by that house as a kid growing up, and he's like, one day I'm gonna buy that house, and then he bought it. So
Good for him.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't gonna let anyone in, but because I was starting my career, he was like, "Just for you, Jacob."
I think we were pretty good to that house.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
he likes this stuff.
We're on a huge tangent here.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, so we meet Liz, who is the first of the members of the order of the babysitters that we meet, who comes in and kicks a bunch of ass, and then
she's chapter vice president.
What did we say the main character's name was? Kelly
Ferguson.
Okay, Kelly Ferguson.
She doesn't fit that name.
Immediately makes a teen pregnancy joke, which I thought was I was like, really? We're going there? Kids movie?
Wait, what was it?
Because Liz has the baby strapped to her back, which is the kid she's babysitting.
Oh yeah, I won't judge you.
Kelly's just like, I mean, is he yours? I mean, I'm not that there's anything wrong with that. I was like, are we making teen pregnancy jokes right out the gate?
I mean, she works at the university, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. So it was they used a real baby for most of it, just in a carrier on her back.
I still think it was fake.
But there was one scene where they go outside and they're about to get on the
Fake
moped,
baby.
and it's just the baby's face CGI'd into the black hollow of a baby motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, right? Like, they're not putting a motorcycle helmet on a baby. There's no way.
No, so it's just this CGI floating baby face in a void, and it's the creepiest thing.
Yep. Like, why do a close-up on that?
Just do a wide shot.
It looks stupid.
Also, like, if this is what babysitters are supposed to be, like, my babysitter growing up was not up to snuff.
I mean, these babysitters Kelly lost the kids, so...
Yeah, I don't think these are up to snuff either.
No,
she's driving around on a moped with a baby on her back. Like,
it's true.
She ain't winning any award.
No. And they're taking the kids out of the house and going who knows where with them, using them as bait. And then even the flashback
100% uses the baby as bait.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad.
Even the flashback one where the kid saves herself.
That's true.
Right?
The babysitter gets knocked out and the kid grabs it. It's the holy hand grenade of the babysitters club.
Which I didn't I had to rewatch part of the ending again, and I didn't understand why. The first time I watched it, why the girl escaped, because the babysitter got hypnotized, and I was like, well, isn't it game over? But then I didn't realize that the kid got a hold of the hand grenade and threw it, because it happened really quickly. It was just the kid's like, bam!
Yeah, and hits Tom Felton with a holy hand grenade.
Yeah. Angel fire.
Angel
Whatever.
fire.
Yeah.
Which later on, there's a scene in the movie where Kelly says she's gonna kill the bad guy, and he goes, "Well, you know, it takes angel fire to the heart, but you don't have any, do you?" And it's like, do you just tell her how to kill you? Like, he straight up is just like, this is the only thing that'll kill me, but you don't have any. It's like, but you didn't need to tell her what she needed.
Yeah, you
like,
didn't.
What the fuck, dude?
Bad guys like to gloat. It's just a thing they do.
Oh yeah, they gotta reveal their
How
secret
smart they
plan
are.
and
So intelligent that you don't know it takes this to kill me.
So when they go to the playground, because they're tracking the toadies, which are the most comical little.
Oh, they're so fun.
They were made.
It was
to
a
sell
creepy
toys.
movie until the toadies were revealed, and then it wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, the toadies are 100% like the stereotypical imbecile goblin creatures that follow around the bad
They're
guy.
a beautiful mix of the minions from Despicable Me, I think that's what they're called,
Yes.
and Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
True.
They're like if they had babies, they would be toadies.
yeah, that's right. But they're stupid.
So
Anyways,
dumb.
they're tracking the toady,
Minions.
and they go to this like indoor
Hey,
playground.
they're not that dumb. They got rid of the tracker that they put in them. Like the one guy, the one was smart.
Are you defending the toadies?
Okay, I didn't like the toadies, but they did put a tracker in the one toady. Then he got rid of the tracker, called his boss on a cell phone. The boss told him, the Grand Guignol told him to go to the party where he had a shadow monster.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you gotta give the toadies some credit for.
I mean, the Grand Guignol also only liked that one toady.
Yeah, he was the only useful toady.
Yeah. But they go to this indoor playground that looks like it's a government. It looks like it's built for government experiments on children.
Yeah, the sharky.
Like there's this
park.
pristine, perfect shark ball pit, and there's this one slide, and there's this one like bar geodesic dome. In just like a vast, sterile environment that you can't see the outer edges of, really.
To me, it screamed beginning of a horror movie, abandoned like circus amusement park.
But it was so clean.
They could have done more with it. Yeah.
To me it was creepy. To me it was like this is an abandoned amusement park and it's video game creepy.
It's just weird.
And they had the Jaws moment
Nah.
in the ball pit.
They had a Jaws moment in a shark-shaped ball pit.
What happened there? Because that was really confusing. They were
I
about to
don't
get
know
the
what
toady.
happened in half of this movie.
But
Might have been because I was drunk.
fair.
That's fair. No one's gonna judge you for drinking to get through this movie.
They got the hole at the bottom of the slide. They're using the baby as bait. They got a ring around the hole, so as soon as the toady goes up through the hole to get the baby, they're gonna like lasso it.
Yeah.
For some reason, Kelly freaks out and was like, "No, I can't do this."
Right.
They still get the toady by the leg, but the toady just takes the rope off his leg. I'm like, what's the difference between getting him by the leg, or getting him around the stomach, getting him around the, like?
He's just gonna yank it off anyway.
Yeah, he's just gonna yank it off anyway. And then instead of going to save the baby, she just dives in the ball pit. So she wasn't scared for the baby's life. She was just scared for her own. Because the baby's still there. I thought she went into the ball pit with the baby to like protect it. No, she just pieced.
Maybe she's a huge distraction.
I guess.
Are you trying to find rationality in the mind of a teenager?
No. That would be a big mistake, wouldn't it?
Because if my memory of being a teenager, rational thinking was not a thing. I don't know about you guys, but I made a lot of stupid ass decisions.
Okay.
Teenager?
I mean, just look at me.
I never used.
I make stupid ass decisions now.
Right? And
Ask me what I did this week. Just ask me. Don't.
So they end up going back to the Brown University, I think.
Yeah, that was
some.
So wait. Where's Brown University? Because they say they're on Rhode Island,
right?
But where's Brown University?
I'm on it.
Is it in?
If it's not in Rhode Island, I'm gonna be really confused.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
So anyways, they go back to Brown University where somehow there's just the
Rhode Island.
Secret.
Oh, okay, it is.
Secret vagina base underneath
No,
the garbage
different
pit.
one. No, I'm talking about the Babysitters base.
That is the vagina.
That's the vagina one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it's disturbing.
So they go to the Babysitters one. And then, they just start naming random famous people.
Yeah.
Like
in
Cleopatra,
in
Merlin.
order at all.
Like, these were all babysitters. And it's like, okay, like, I get it. You're trying to do, like, the movie trope of, like, these people throughout history were part of our organization.
And, you know, I love to play the feminist card. I love to, like, look at things from the other side. Why are they all women babysitters?
No, they had Merlin in there.
Yeah, Merlin and Einstein.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Okay.
Einstein was a babysitter.
Okay,
Like the two
I missed that.
older looking people.
I missed that.
I don't know.
I don't. I guess Merlin
Didn't
the
feel very
wizard.
diversified.
Merlin the wizard probably was Arthur's babysitter.
Yeah, I guess.
Was Rasputin a babysitter?
Oh God.
He's the one they don't talk about. He got kicked out of the order.
He's the OG babysitter.
Yeah. I mean those.
I mean he
those
did
Tsar's
take
kids did
care
it for a reason.
of the Tsar's son, who was very sickly. So
I'm sure he took care of him. I'm sorry, that was real dark. I watched The Kingsman recently. And Rasputin's in it,
that was weird.
And Rasputin is creepy as fuck in that movie.
I didn't like that movie.
So they name all these famous people, and I realized that they couldn't do this because this is a Netflix film, be referencing a Disney property. But Mary Poppins would school the fuck out of these bitches.
True. Yeah.
Like, tell me I'm wrong. But Mary Poppins would put all of these fucking kids to shame.
I mean, they didn't reveal the head of the order.
I mean, there's a chance.
Could be Mary Poppins. All they said was Madame V. Is that what they said? I don't know.
They
It
kind
was
of
near the end. It was like they were setting up sequels pretty hard.
Oh, definitely. Because they set up like the whole like the Spider
Boogie
Queen
people. There's 7 boogie people.
Yeah.
And I googled so hard trying to find out who the 7 boogie people were, other than the Spider Queen. Nothing.
Are you gonna read these books now?
There's only 3 of them.
Okay.
And they seemingly hard to find, but I kind of like the lore.
No, it is actually. It has potential as a story.
Yeah.
Nina's doing work while we're podcasting again. Sorry, we're getting very close to going to camera on a film.
I'll pull the phone out here and like smile at the camera.
Of which Nina is the second AD, and therefore has to take a lot of late night phone calls and text messages. So we told her that it was okay and she could continue working while we're recording. We won't let it bother
The
us.
attachments won't open.
But no, I agree. I think there is actually potential for like good ongoing story with this, and you could build the lore, and it did have good production value. But
Can I spoil the next movie?
it fell short. Sure.
I
I'm never gonna watch
read
it.
ahead.
Okay.
So the Spider Queen apparently hypnotizes. So even though it's still sticking with the hypnotism theme.
Book spoilers, everyone.
Yeah, book spoilers. There's not a second movie, and there will never be a second movie.
Oh, I feel like there will be a second movie.
It's Netflix. They could.
I
They
feel like
do
there
two
will be a
and then
second
quit.
movie. This
Okay.
was
All
so set up to be a franchise.
I haven't seen it. I want it. I kind of want there to be a second movie, but I haven't seen any evidence. So
Come on, Netflix got 3 views today. Of course they're gonna make another one.
True.
I did enjoy the sideline like love story with the guy and how it was just like not important.
Not at all.
Like that was really refreshing. That
Yeah.
it's like, you know, the teenager's just like, oh my god, it's my crush. Like I've got dirt on my clothes. Like I can't go in there. And the other girl just absolutely makes fun of her.
Yeah.
It's a boy. It's just
You're not
so
scared of
perfect.
monsters anymore, but you're scared of a boy? No.
I know. No.
She's just like, you're worried about your outfit? Look at this terrible blonde wig I'm wearing. Because it was. Liz wears a wig, a pixie cut wig for the film, and it is noticeable. Like, it's bad.
I didn't notice.
No?
I noticed the vagina.
You noticed
but
the
not-
vagina
but not the
doors.
wig. Again, I was drunk. Priorities were way out of whack.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy how that was just kind of like a throwaway line to it. But since we're on the subject of the boy, let's go back to high school.
Let's not.
Let's go back to that opening sequence with the mean girls in the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The clothing that they are wearing, I am low-key obsessed because it is one of two things. Either the costume design on this is just wackadoodle out there, or teenagers' fashion is so weird now that I am old, and it has now become grandma style.
I wasn't paying that close of attention. Were they wearing grandma clothes?
It's terrible.
It's
like frilly,
layer upon layer
flowery.
of...
Oh, I didn't notice.
And then like a weird heart cutout on the neck that looks like a cookie cutter. I don't understand it at all. It looks terrible. And these are the cool girls.
I absolutely loved
Weird.
that when they get to the party, Liz is just like, fucking cat costume. Every basic bitch ever thinks that a cat costume is a good idea for Halloween, which is true. Don't wear cat costumes, girls.
I wore a cat
Women,
costume.
ladies. Please. Yeah, Jacob is allowed because he's Jacob, a.k.a. Mr. Spooks, a.k.a.
And
Jacob
I'm
S.
so
Pumpkins.
basic.
There's nothing basic
I
about
like
you.
pumpkin spice lattes.
Don't let anyone ever tell you.
I don't
you're
want
basic.
to, but I do.
I mean, you can't.
I
can't
get away from it.
But the problem with that ideology is like, oh, somebody made something that tastes good and everybody likes it, and because everybody likes it,
It's basic.
I can't like it now and it's basic. It's like, yeah, what does fucking drinking Coca-Cola make people basic? It's like the most consumed product
it's acidic.
on the planet.
Basic would be alkaline.
Moving right along.
It's a movie about math. I can make a chemistry joke.
Yeah, he's making nerd jokes. It fits.
It is not a movie about math. There are occasionally some weird inserts about math, and we are led to believe that this girl could just suddenly solve all problems with math.
Punch with math.
Yeah.
Oh, also, when she did the punch, her face went like...
Oh no, it's a monster punch. She turned like you do this weird math move, and you kind of like half transform into a monster, so you have the power to punch a grenade into the boogeyman's chest. I don't know.
Okay.
But only her brain could understand the math to then download into her body so she could do the monster punch.
Yeah. See, I am choosing to believe that this film was created purely to be a gateway drug to like good supernatural programming. Television shows and films and things like that.
Yeah, Netflix thinks like that. Netflix is like, we're going to pour all this money into making a product to get you to buy a different product sometime down.
No. But like no. But I'm choosing to believe that that's what this will be for people. This is going to be like a 12-year-old's going to watch this and they're going to go, I kind of like that show where teenagers team up to fight crazy monsters.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to be like, hey, have you heard of a show called Buffy?
Have you heard of Watchmen?
We don't talk about the guy who made it anymore, but you should watch the show.
Watchmen is good.
Shadow and Bone on Netflix is pretty good too. And it's
I haven't watched that
yet. Definitely better than this, but like it's also more up into fantasy levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah. Yeah. I want to know what kind of teleportation technology these kids have come up with. Because Q, I don't know his name. I'm just calling him Q because he's the dude who gives away he's the gadget guy. So he's Q. He calls around the world to look for ingredients to make this angel fire bomb. And gets off the phone and then just runs over to like one of those bank tube machines, and the ingredients just slide down the machine with the signs of like all the different world cities of where they're coming from. So what teleportation tech have they come up with where they couldn't be like, hey, yeah, so one of the 7 big bads is in town. He's stolen a kid. He's building a nightmare army. Everybody transport to me. Mm-hmm. And we'll just send an army of babysitters after this dude to take him out. You know.
Maybe they just have transatlantic tubes.
Why would they choose the mystical tubes and not, a cardboard box from Amazon?
Mystical tubes. Much better.
Like, just be like, ooh, thank God for Amazon. Like, I don't, like, just
no, magic.
Because Amazon Prime wouldn't like that. Because they have their own television network.
Oh, so
fine,
I don't know,
UPS.
like make a teal box and call it a new fucking delivery.
No, then Tiffany's is gonna sue us. Us. I work for Netflix now. Netflix, please hire me for something. I hate
anything.
working.
I love Netflix.
Come. We live in British Columbia, And I know that you do a lot of business in Vancouver, but if you just come inland a little bit further, there's this great city up in the interior. We make movies here. Just come hang out. It'd be great.
Or maybe you're already here by the time that this airs.
That'd be cool.
Right, guys. Wait, why would I talk to them?
Let's talk about the crazy cat lady.
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, I think that entire the set looked fantastic.
Cool.
The mythos around the character was great.
Yeah. I like the reveal.
Yeah.
Where are the cats? Where are the cats? Why is she freaking out and having an allergic reaction?
So Liz is allergic to cats. She's having an allergic reaction. It's this crazy. So it's this silent movie star who became a crazy cat lady and apparently a super powerful witch.
Class 5.
Because she still looks very young. But they can't figure out where any of the cats are. And Liz is having severe allergic reactions. And so Grand Guignol takes Liz away. And Kelly's left with the crazy cat lady. And the crazy cat lady stands up off of this black sofa she's sitting on and says, "Okay, time to feast." And it's revealed that the entire sofa she's been laying out on is just made of black cats. And they all start moving and running to attack Kelly, which I thought was fantastic. But then I fucking laughed my ass off when the way that she beats the cats is to shine a laser pointer into a chandelier.
I love
and it sends out hundreds of lasers.
Hey, that was set up early on in the movie where she's like, I make a bunch of lights in my spare time, and one of the lights is
a laser pointer. Yeah. They did. It was a payoff.
Yeah.
But I feel like it kind of dampened that whole scene. Like that scene had a really good tone to it. It was done well. And then they just kind of were like, laser pointer.
Yeah. And then they'll just go passive.
My actual note is, I know this is a kid's movie, but a laser pointer? Seriously? Then we get to the lighthouse for the first time.
Yeah.
And there is no physical way that lighthouse is still standing.
The name was... Is that a real lighthouse? Because the name
I don't know.
Was like... it doesn't sound like a Rhode Island lighthouse. But yeah, that should not have been there at all.
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, he's just talking about, like, he's doing the song a bunch now. I feel like he was trying to be as creepy as Willy Wonka in the tunnel, but just didn't get there.
That's a weird association. That's a good one.
That's the thing. Like Tom Felton's character in this movie is a mix between
Beetlejuice, Pirates of the Caribbean, zombie thing,
Jack Sparrow. Like it's Beetlejuice, Jack Sparrow, and Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
But like can't decide if he's the original Gene Wilder Willy Wonka or the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like he really wanted to be the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, but he ended up being the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Yeah, and he really looks like a budget Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like it's like so much.
Like there was actually some really good subtle makeup done on him, like little like scars and things on his face, and his brow was brought down a little bit.
Yeah.
There was some good subtlety to the character. They did in some scenes it's more subtle, some scenes it's more overt. But there was audio work done to his voice to make him sound more menacing. I think the character, when, like, there were moments, like the very first time we meet the character, he's super fucking creepy, and I thought was great. But then they just make the character kind of an idiot later on.
But he wasn't born yesterday.
I love when he's yelling at the
scene.
kid. I was born yesterday. I'm like, you've been feeding him, like, what? How many empty milkshake glasses are by the bed? Like 6? Hey, you're kind of dumb.
Yeah.
No, he was feeding him warm milk.
Because
the kid's like, I want energy drinks and I want a chocolate covered espresso beans.
I love that.
I was not born yesterday, and then
he almost fell for it though. He almost fell for it. If
he was thinking about it.
Yeah,
he was thinking about it hard.
Cute kid. Love the name.
There's a point when the bad guy has these giant tanks set up that hold all the nightmare creatures as they're coming out of the little kid's brain. And there's a point where Kelly jumps from one to the other, and it's like a 20-foot jump. And it's super obvious that it was like they did it practically, but it's a wire jump because she goes up 3 feet and then straight for like 20 feet and then down 3 feet.
I didn't
It's realistic,
catch that.
right? Hey, she jumped off a balcony or a second floor railing earlier in the movie, so
She did. That one was, I mean,
that was kind of cool.
fairly realistic.
Right?
Okay, let's actually talk about that for a moment. That was actually a really good moment on her part.
Yeah.
Of like, she was trying to defeat the shadow monster at the party.
Oh yeah, actually that was stupid math, but
It's more the stupid math, but she calculates how many lumens would be generated by everybody's cell phone flash going off at the same time. Shadow monster doesn't like light. It's going to take a certain number of lumens to get rid of it. So she yells, "Everybody take a picture," and jumps off a balcony railing and lands on a couch. But everybody turns to snap photos, and it scares the shadow monster away.
But just before that, she shoves her crush into a bedroom.
Yeah.
And
and
says, "I'll be back."
I'll be back. Just I'll be right back.
His hopes are like,
So done. How long do you think he sat in that bedroom?
yeah. Well, then he's like,
Can I come out
It's come
now?
out. It's like, it's coming, it's coming. He's like, oh, I should come out. And he's like, no. Yeah.
Also, was there a point when we're in the lair at the end where one of the toadies is just huffing glue? And then, like, the bad guy just calls for him, and you just see him go... and then, like, throw a bottle and run to where he's being
Oh,
called.
the one smart one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
was
so,
he
yeah.
huffing glue?
I think so. And then he goes over to the lever and he's like, oh my god. And then they use the stick thing on him and then he starts singing opera. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I thought the Egyptian stick gets rid of spells or whatever.
And curses.
And then, so maybe the toadies were cursed? And also, did they kill it? I don't know. They poke it and it just farts and then starts singing opera, leaves the screen, and then comes back on the screen, sings one last big opera chorus, and then falls down dead. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what was that? I don't know.
I don't remember this.
You don't? Maybe Jesse's been bugging me to edit more video clips from the movies into these. I don't think I will because that's a lot of work. Maybe I'll throw up a.
It's an opera
image.
in German too. In the subtitles.
At any point, did they think that maybe they could kill the boogeyman with, a gun?
This is a kids' movie, Zach.
He's mystical. He's not corporal.
Just put it out there. I mean, we're in America.
I feel like the idea is that like if
Sorry,
you shot him,
we're not in America. The movie takes place in America.
So when I suggest the kids aren't thinking rationally, you guys are like, well, they're kids, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, but a gun.
Yeah. Do you know how many people are
Use
killed
your
by?
brain.
they're mystical. They don't die from.
Do you know how many children kill people with guns in the States every year?
Oh,
Like
We're
a
not,
lot.
this is not the podcast. We're right.
Cut it out, edit it.
No. I was just stating a statistic. I wasn't. I don't know what the actual statistic is.
here.
But, I will not.
No, okay, don't do that.
Okay, so the creatures we've seen in this movie are like the shadow monster, which is just kind of like a dark, hazy ball with tentacles. Basically, just like a roided out soot sprite from My Neighbor Totoro kind of looking thing.
Yeah.
And then we've got the toadies who are, like you said, minions that bred with fucking Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
And then we get to the nightmare creatures that are in the tanks, because the little kid, after he's removed from the nightmare machine, is like, no, I can get rid of these nightmare creatures. And he walks into the tank and is like, I'm in control of you now. And I say, go away. And one of the things in that tank is just a disembodied skull with the spine attached to it flying around. Like, whatever was in those tanks was way fucking worse than anything we'd seen in this movie so far. Like, this kid needs therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, what the fuck was this kid coming up with?
And a tentacle that's not attached to anything.
Yeah, which then just gets tossed to the ball.
Yeah.
But like, what was... this child needs help.
Well, he has help now.
So it was a movie that should be acclaimed as good based on budget and look and production value and all of that stuff. But man, I wouldn't watch it again.
No, like I feel like, yeah, like you know, I feel like the age group it was going after would probably really enjoy this movie. Like I think it is very age specific. They were going out. What did you do, Jacob?
No, I agree.
I think that like 10 to 15-year-old age range is probably gonna eat this shit up. Technically, like from a technical standpoint, it is a good film.
Yeah.
I think the lore is interesting enough to like. They set up 7 more villains or 6 more villains.
6 more villains, yeah.
And that's kind of interesting. And like they flip through the book, especially when they're like before they figured out it was the Grand Guignol. The guide kept flipping, stopping on a couple pages to be like, look, there's one monster. Flips a couple more. There's another monster. There's another monster that might show up, and then finally it gets to him.
For a film called the Babysitter's Guide, A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting, it sets up that world, and like that's the name of the book that they use to reference. But there's not actually that big of a variety of monsters in the film.
I was gonna say better as a TV show.
I think so. I think it would have been better as a TV show where there's actual monster hunting and like Grand Guignol is like an end of like a full season arc villain.
Yeah.
And you build up to it, and you learn about the you get more of the lore and stuff. I think there's a lot of things that would be better as a television series, as a series rather than.
I predict that this will end up being like at least a couple movies on Netflix of just the same things around Halloween. We'll like hear about it. I'm almost certain.
Let's look it up.
I did look up as much as I could. No plans for a sequel now. The Wikipedia page almost has nothing. There is no Wikipedia page for the books at all. I read the synopsis on Amazon, and it didn't reveal much except that villain for book 2 is the Spider Queen who hypnotizes the whole town. Similar to a movie that we were supposed to be working on. And then the third book just says travel to Monster Island, and it sounds like it just says monster royalty are upset. So it almost sounds like it's a conclusion, like the third book would be the trilogy. Which I think if there's 7 of them, you're actually supposed to get like a couple of them per book.
Yeah.
So maybe in the book there's more than the Grand Guignol. Maybe it's got another character, but they didn't know how to fit it in.
One thing I will say, and I just realized this as I was looking the film up on IMDb to see if there was a listed sequel, and the first search result is a film called The Babysitters, which is a very different movie. I don't know if either of you have ever seen it before. No, it's about babysitters who are... They legitimately babysit children, but they're hired specifically because then the fathers drive them home after, and they fuck the dads for money. It's a prostitution ring that's about babysitters. It's really like... It's a great movie, but it's fucked up.
If you like this, you should watch this.
Yeah, like that was just a
weird...
If
you hated the movie we're talking about, but you liked this podcast, check out this movie.
Yeah, it was just like
the fact that there were
It was
babysitters.
A strange juxtaposition when you go to look something up on IMDb, and it's like, did you mean The Babysitters? A film about babysitters starting a sex worker ring? Like, is that what you wanted to watch? No, it's not.
Hey guys, we should make that movie.
Like again? Like it's a movie that exists.
Something like that.
We could remake it.
Oh, we could. Just fucking ring up. Who we got on the phone? What's his name? Why can't I think of his name?
Why are you looking at me?
Damn
I don't
it.
know any.
Lars von
To be
Trier.
clear, I don't know anyone associated with prostitution rings.
No. I was
don't
gonna
know why
say
he's looking at me.
if we want to make a super dark fucked up movie, we just gotta try and have a conversation with Lars von Trier and be like, "Hey, got any tips?" Because he would. He makes fucked up movies. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love his movies, but they are movies that I only ever want to watch once.
On that super positive, amazing, happy note.
Yeah. So, what's everybody's rating? What are we giving this movie out of 10? Let's go. I want to maybe start doing this thing where we go technical rating, based purely on the technical side of the film, and entertainment value.
Okay. So am I splitting my ratings up?
There's 2 ratings. There's a technical specs rating, and there's an entertainment value rating.
Technically, this movie was really good. Technically, I'd give it like an 8. Like the music and the colors, and I'd even give it a 9, but I can't for the freaking vagina set deck. I just cannot get over it. Like it was just too much for me. And the bad CGI baby. So it's an 8 technically. Story-wise, it was just lame. And so, does it deserve to pass? Yeah, like begrudgingly I give it a 6 because like there's no huge plot story holes. It's just lame. It's just, I don't really care. Stakes aren't really that high. 6.
It's also not at all a movie designed for us at all. Jacob? Mr. Spooks?
I'll go technical 8, but I'm gonna give it a 7. Otherwise, I kind of enjoyed it more than I thought.
No, Jacob.
All I'm saying, like I was gonna go like 1 or so more than you did, just because I clearly enjoyed it more than you did. But like just 7, I don't know. I think the lore is kind of cool, and I'm trying to think as a kid watching it, like
if it was like me as a kid, this was 100% what I would do.
I think it's fair to rate it based off of like
I literally like I have monsters tattooed all down this arm. Like monsters are my jam.
Yeah. So what's your rating?
What's your rating, Zach?
Again, yeah, I think technically we're at like a 7.5, 8. Cinematography was good. Lighting was good. Sound design was good.
Locations were good.
Set deck or production design for the most part. A couple of hiccups. For the most part was good.
Not part of the location, you know. I hope not.
But like watching it, like I was generally like bored. So I'm giving it like a 5.5, 6 entertainment value. I think 12-year-old me would have fucking loved this movie.
But I'm not 12 anymore.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm still 12.
You're still 12.
We're very aware.
We have a confession to make, though.
Shut up.
We do?
Shut up.
Not you and I. Me and Jacob.
Oh, okay. I was just like, what?
But like, I wasn't going to say anything, but just the fact that you loved it and I hate it, I think we can say it and it's
love
fine.
it. I liked it a little bit
7.
more.
You just gave it a 7.
Yeah, well, I was just going to go one
I
higher.
wish Jesse was here.
Okay, what's the confession?
We watched it together.
You watched it together?
Mm-hmm.
I also rewatched it after because I was dog sitting for Mark, so I rewatched it again.
I watched half of it alone and then watched the second part with Jacob and then rewatched the second part by myself earlier today.
And I even suggested, like, hey, let's all get together and watch
And
the
then
movie.
Everybody
fucking shit on me for it.
We did this last week. We were hanging out.
This wasn't just now.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I got it. Host of the show. Just get left out.
You live out of town. We hang out when you're not here, babe.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
It's not that far away. Okay. Anyways, so that was a Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting. Another episode of the Random Cinematic Universe where we let that evil algorithm choose our movies for us, and we have no say in what we watch from week to week. Next week, we have... Jacob, are you back next week? No. What's next week?
I don't know if we're recording these in order
or
or not.
So
I don't know what to say.
Because of us working on a film right now, we had a scheduling snafu. We're still keeping to the schedule that the release order will be the original order we plan these episodes in. But that is not the order they're being recorded in.
I'm pretty sure he's in next week's episode.
Let's take a look at the Google Drive. Can I say Google on this? Yeah, they're not going to get mad at me.
Google.
Google. Sponsor us. Hey, if anybody ever feels like sponsoring this show,
like Google,
and we will do mid-show ads for you, and you want to, sponsor us with either products like beverages. Beverages are nice.
Preferable.
We would love a sponsorship. Anybody local, I feel like there might be 1 or 2 breweries in the Okanagan that would want to sponsor a film podcast. Next week, we are watching This Love is from Another Planet. And that's going to be Mark and Jesse. Jacob is not back next week.
No.
So if you want to watch the movie ahead of next week's episode, it is This Love is from Another Planet. It is available on Amazon Prime in Canada. If you're having trouble finding it, take the title of the film, translate it into Spanish, and then search for it again. It is a Spanish language film. And definitely not French. So anyways, we will see everybody next week for This Love is from Another Planet. Thanks for listening and or watching. Okay, that's it.
And now our chairs turn into cats.
Constantly be doing this? No.
Meow, meow, meow.
My eyes have been itching all day.
How is it with what? I had a pocket taco.
Is that a taco?
Yeah.
How long's it been in there?
Since about 6.
It's almost midnight. No, I'm kidding.
You had Mexican food twice today?
It's Taco Tuesday. Yes. I had high-end fancy Mexican food. Now I'm eating Taco Time. So they just opened a Taco Time in Vernon. There hasn't been a Taco Time in Vernon for a number of years. The last one got shut down, I think because they were laundering money. Mm-hmm. The sheriffs showed up and it was in the food court in the mall.
Yeah.
They showed up, they shut it down. At the time, I worked at the kiosk, a body jewelry kiosk that was not far from this Taco Time. I could see across the... So they kicked everybody out. They put signs up and caution tape being like, this location has been shut down by the sheriff's department, da-da-da-da-da. But because it got shut down so quickly and the owners were arrested, nothing got turned off. Oh, and because it was under active investigation, the mall couldn't do anything. They couldn't go in there. They had to leave it. So the employees took all the food. Yeah. Because the sheriff's department was just like, any food that's in this location, take it with you now. Yeah. So they took all the food. But it's one of those... because it's a food court location, the pop machine faces the food court, and you could just walk up to it. And it wasn't turned off. And all the refrigeration was left on. And so me and 2 other people who worked in the mall figured out that you could just walk up to the pop machine at the Taco Time and fill up a cup with pop. Nice. And we did this. We got free